Welcome to Cybersecurity Law and Policy. Now we're going to take a look at ransomware. And ransom is an old crime, of course, but it has been adopted to the internet in creative new ways. So what is ransomware? It's a form of malware that limits you from accessing your files and information until the, quote, ransom is paid to the perpetrator. Typically, this is done with Bitcoin or some other cryptocurrency so that the perpetrator remains anonymous. And sometimes you may not even get your files released after paying the ransom. So ransom is a type of malware which we've seen a lot of in cybercrime. But this particular kind does several different methods of keeping you from accessing your information. A ransomware attack occurs when an individual or organization is targeted with ransomware, and it can be spread to computers through attachments or links in phishing emails, by infected websites by means of a drive-by download, or via infected USB devices that someone randomly picks up and puts in their computer to see what's on it. Once a computer or network is infected with ransomware, the malware blocks access to the system or encrypts the data on that system. Cybercriminals then demand that their victims pay them, often in cryptocurrency. So there are two main types of ransomware processes, and these are crypto ransomware and locker ransomware. Both do what they sound like they do. The crypto ransomware encrypts valuable files on a computer so that the user can't access them. Cyber thieves then demand that the victims pay a ransom to get their files back. Whereas the locker ransomware, on the other hand, does not encrypt the files, but instead it locks the victim out of their device, preventing them from using the device at all. Once they are locked out, the cybercriminals demand a ransom to unlock their device. Now, ransomware attacks are on the rise, and this is a chart over the last couple of years of how many ransom attacks we've experienced. These are definitely going up. The end of the graph there brings us pretty much close to the future, where the end of it will still be rising. Here are the top 10 ransomware types that we've seen over the years. Locky is a phishing type of ransomware that then encrypts the files. Very successful in 2016, very simple. WannaCry was an encryption software in 2017, demanding even higher ransoms than we had seen before. Bad Rabbit in 2017 was drive-by hacking, where unwitting visitors to a website would be attacked or hacked when they visited the website. Ryuk in 2018 encrypted network drives. Ryuk is named after a cult character. Trolldash is a spam email as their way of access, and that was also very successful in 2015. Jigsaw in 2016 deleted files, and the longer it took for the victims to pay the ransom, the more files that were deleted. CryptoLocker in 2017 spread through email attachments and opening those attachments. Petya in 2016 and 2017 was a powerful ransomware that was successful, but then reemerged as GoldenEye in 2017 and began attacks on the oil and energy industry. And then GeoCrab in 2018 claimed to have porn-watching data that they would release to the public if the ransom was not paid to the perpetrator. So these top 10 examples of ransomware we've seen in the past, but as soon as one of them is out, several more come out as well. Just last month, this is a list of the top 10 ransomware attacks, and we see a couple there we may recognize, but many more keep evolving. Dridex is one that is particularly active right now, and recently, December 2019, the United States indicted the perpetrators, who were based in Moscow, Russia.
Against a Russian national whom the Good morning. Thank you all for being here. We're here today to identify and announce charges against a Russian national whom the Department of Justice alleges is responsible for two of the worst computer hacking and bank fraud schemes of the past decade. The charges we're announcing today are merely allegations, and each of the defendants is presumed innocent until proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. Maxim Yakubets of Moscow, Russia, has been indicted in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, for his alleged role as the leader of a cyber criminal gang responsible for the distribution of a multifunction malware package known as Bugat. Bugat was designed to automate the theft of confidential personal information and financial information, such as online banking credentials, from infected computers. Later versions of the malware, also known as Dridex, were designed with the added function of assisting in the installation of ransomware. Over the past decade, the Bugat malware facilitated the theft of millions of dollars from victims, some of which occurred as recently as May of this year.
The indictment read, as a result of this activity, Evil Corp, the name of their corporation, is being designated pursuant to EO 13694, as amended, for engaging in cyber-enabled activities that have the effect of causing a significant misappropriation of funds or economic resources for private financial gain. So their cyber ring, criminal ring, was called the Evil Corporation. The indictment said that Evil Corporation acts as a business run by a group of individuals based in Moscow, Russia, that is led by an individual named Yakubets, who is the first named defendant on the indictment, and is responsible for managing and supervising the cyber attacks. Evil Corporation also works for the Russian government, also noted in the indictment. And as it says in the indictment, Yakubets has also provided direct assistance to the Russian government. They have evidence from April 2017, 2018 for activities that linked Yakubets to getting information for the Russian government. And also, they have applied to be able to access classified information and have made activities and moves toward acquiring classified information for the government of Russia. So I'd like to suggest this guided note-taking exercise as you read this indictment. List the 10 counts. After you read through the indictment, write down the 10 counts in the indictment. And then for each one of the accounts, decide what kind of cybercrime is being alleged in each one of those counts. And note the elements that need to be supported for that crime, and then what evidence do they have to support those elements. And I think you'll have a very good reading of this indictment. In December 2019, the United States then announced that in accordance with this executive order and the criminal law of the United States, that they would be able to seize any assets in the United States to make up for the damages caused by Evil Corp, which amount to at least $100 million over this couple of year period. And one thing that is encouraging, however, is today there was an announcement that the city of Knoxville was not going to pay the ransom from a recent ransomware attack, and that they attribute this to the teamwork of their cyber crew that prevented the destruction, or at least the blocking or encryption completely of their data. Now, back to Dridex. Dridex is upped the game and they are retaliating against the United States for indicting them and threatening to seize their assets in the United States. So you can expect to see heightened activity from Evil Corporation and even attempts to influence and attack voting and the election in the United States.